Emotional maturity does not make love easier. It makes it heavier, quieter, and more selective. In youth, love is a storm, driven by projections, fantasies, and the relentless pursuit of fulfillment. The immature heart leaps at any sign of connection, mistaking need for desire, longing for completion in another, and crafting elaborate illusions to fill gaps left by abandonment, rejection, or early trauma. The anima or animus, untempered, projects itself onto a partner like a shadow cast across an empty wall, coloring perception with unacknowledged desire. To love in this state is to love a reflection of one's own unmet needs rather than a fully realized human being. Early encounters are intoxicating yet unstable, a carousel of attachment, disappointment, and repetition. Each disappointment a shadow yet unrecognized, each passion a mirror to what one lacks rather than what one can give. Time, loss, and self-confrontation begin to change this dynamic, though not gently. Individuation, the quiet dismantling of illusions about the self, forces recognition of one's own contradictions, fears, and latent aggressions. The psyche, having been fractured by betrayal, grief, or unmet longing, begins to gather itself, drawing the fragmented pieces toward integration. The shadow emerges, demanding acknowledgement of desire, fear, and moral compromise. Only through this relentless confrontation with what one is capable of and what one will no longer tolerate does the capacity for selectiveness awaken. Stoic restraint develops not as a technique but as an embodied habit. The mature heart learns the cost of attachment, the hidden toll of fantasy, the subtle betrayals of self-deception. Here, discernment is no longer whimsical but calibrated, a consequence of lived experience. To ignore this lesson is to court repetition and emotional chaos. You may notice now that your desires have narrowed, your thresholds heightened. What once satisfied is no longer enough. What once captivated now rings hollow. You cannot feign attraction nor tolerate pretense, for the psyche has grown wary. Each encounter is measured, each emotional investment weighed against a ledger of memory, shadow recognition, and unfulfilled longing. Anima and animus projections have faded. You see clearly the contours of another's psyche, and the gaps in alignment are immediately apparent. This selectiveness, so often judged as picky, is not indulgence but necessity. To engage without discernment risks a regression into the familiar chaos of past mistakes. Love becomes deliberate, not desperate, a careful calibration between desire and safety. Yet the weight of this knowledge carries loneliness, for few match the rigor of such introspection, and fewer still can endure the still, quiet intensity of a heart that no longer chases illusions. The shadow of loss lingers as a subtle, constant reminder that each choice carries risk, and that intimacy is a negotiation between courage and self-preservation. Mature love is a rarefied state, quieter, calmer, yet more exacting, demanding authenticity, vulnerability, and emotional stamina. It tolerates no half-truths or performative passion. In this landscape, one's criteria are not capricious, but rooted in the hard-won understanding that love, to endure, requires both alignment of psyche and courage to confront the familiar shadows it awakens. Emotional maturity has refined taste, sharpened perception, and narrowed the field of acceptable partners, but it has also ensured that when connection occurs, it is profound, unforced, and unmistakably real.
To inhabit love after such maturation is to carry both clarity and burden. You know with painful precision what resonates and what corrodes. Where youth embraced novelty and intoxication, the mature heart observes resonance and dissonance. The patterns that once seemed trivial now register as red flags. Inconsistencies and evasions are immediately sensed. This is not cynicism, but calibration. You have encountered enough betrayal, disappointment, and self-deception to recognize the subtle seductions of illusion. The psyche, sharpened by years of shadow work, no longer tolerates projection masquerading as affection. You see the contours of desire, the hidden fissures of character, and the unspoken compromises that underlie every connection. What others may call picky is, in fact, a meticulous survival strategy, a refusal to surrender to a love that would not sustain the self you have fought to know. There is a paradox here. As selectiveness grows, so does longing. The mature heart does not cease to desire intimacy. Rather, it desires it with a fiercer, more exacting expectation. Each opportunity is measured not merely against fantasy, but against lived reality, the memory of all the times one surrendered, only to be fragmented, disappointed, or misunderstood. The inner critic, born of experience, questions with surgical precision. Is this person capable of reflection? Can they tolerate shadow? Will they recognize the value of restraint and the depth of quiet devotion? These are not superficial questions, they are existential, and their weight discourages casual engagement. Love becomes a test of compatibility, not in surface charm, but in emotional depth and ethical resonance. To those uninitiated in shadow and self-confrontation, this seems unnecessary or even excessive. To the mature psyche, it is essential. You may find, as you navigate relationships later in life, that moments of connection feel both rare and luminous. Each bond must be chosen deliberately, for the cost of error is no longer tolerable. The sensuality of attraction is inseparable from psychological safety. The allure of passion is entwined with the demand for authenticity. Romance is no longer an escape from self, but a mirror that reflects it with unflinching accuracy. The psyche, having known fragmentation, demands alignment in both conscious and unconscious realms. There is a solemnity to such selection, a recognition that love is not entitlement, but a mutual acknowledgement of wholeness, or at least the pursuit of it. This deliberation, while isolating at times, ensures that when love arrives, it does so with gravity, integrity, and undeniable presence.
The passage into later life love is marked by an almost surgical awareness of risk and reward. Every encounter is filtered through the lens of prior experience, every gesture, every word, and every silence weighed against the memory of past entanglements. Emotional maturity has instilled a kind of restraint that feels alien to those still guided by immediate desire. It is a quiet vigilance, a refusal to surrender to illusion. Where the young leap with abandon, the mature pause, noting the alignment or misalignment of values, temperament, and shadow. You're compelled to recognize not just what you want, but what you cannot accept. The capacity to tolerate deceit, evasion, or performative intimacy has diminished. Your boundaries are precise, sometimes unyielding. This is why the too picky label arises, not from arrogance, but from necessity. The self, having endured enough fragmentation, will not gamble lightly on the projection of an ideal where only reality exists. And yet, this selectiveness is accompanied by an acute awareness of longing. You understand that desire is not merely for comfort or fantasy, but for resonance with a self that has been painstakingly mapped through introspection. You are drawn to depth, to honesty, to emotional congruence, qualities rare enough that encounters may feel infrequent or even elusive. The shadow's lessons echo here. Intimacy is as perilous as it is rewarding, and a misaligned connection can stir dormant wounds or revive the very fragmentation you have labored to integrate. Thus, the mature heart must weigh the cost of entry. Each potential partner is observed not merely for charm or warmth, but for the capacity to mirror authenticity and endure scrutiny.
The discernment that once felt isolating is, paradoxically, a safeguard. It ensures that the rare love that emerges is capable of sustaining both depth and clarity. The final paradox of mature love is its simultaneous restraint and intensity. Calmness does not mean absence of passion. Selectiveness does not indicate indifference. Rather, the mature lover engages with heightened awareness. Every touch, every conversation, every decision carries the weight of experience. Love becomes a deliberate act, a dialogue between psyches that have seen darkness, acknowledged their shadows, and now measure intimacy with sober attention. To embrace another is not to escape self, but to find a reflection capable of enduring scrutiny, a resonance that can honor both independence and interdependence. Emotional maturity transforms desire into a precise instrument, calibrated not by whim or fantasy, but by the unyielding architecture of self-knowledge. And in this arena, what some call picky is simply the inevitable outcome of having survived, integrated, and emerged whole enough to demand that love, if it is to exist, must be real, complete, and rare.
By the time one has reached this threshold, love is no longer a frantic pursuit, but a measured encounter with consequence. Each choice carries the weight of history, the echoes of past attachment, the shadow of unmet longing. The emotionally mature individual understands that to enter love without discernment is to risk not only disappointment, but the undoing of carefully constructed psychic equilibrium. Stoic restraint, honed through reflection and loss, now governs desire. Impulses are checked, infatuation is observed with suspicion, and the intoxicating allure of immediacy is tempered by the memory of repetition and grief. You may find that many who appear enticing at first glance fail the quiet test of authenticity. You have no tolerance for pretense or charm divorced from substance. This is not rigidity, it is survival, the natural evolution of a heart that has learned to distinguish illumination from illusion, substance from projection. Love at this stage is quieter but heavier. The mature lover experiences attraction not as a frenzied surge, but as a slow recognition, a resonance of being, a mirroring of shadow and light that requires patience to perceive. Every interaction is filtered through the lens of individuation. Every intimate moment carries the implicit question, can this person meet me as I am, with all my contradictions and scars? The field of available connections narrows because the psyche now demands not just presence, but integrity, not just passion, but insight, not just companionship, but congruence. Selectiveness is therefore inseparable from maturity. It is a reflection of internal wholeness and the impossibility of settling for less than what truly aligns with the self. You are, in effect, calibrated to detect the subtle misalignments that would have gone unnoticed in youth, and this calibration is both a blessing and a burden. And yet, the reward of this deliberation is profound. When connection occurs, it is unmistakable, earned through patience, reflection, and the discipline of the self. Desire is no longer a blind force, but an intentional meeting of minds, hearts, and shadows, a communion that acknowledges both risk and safety, longing and restraint. Here, intimacy is experienced without pretense, without projection, without the frantic search for completion in another. It is the love of those who have seen their own darkness and cannot accept anything less than authenticity mirrored in another. Emotional maturity does not make love easier, it makes it a test few can pass. Unlock the hidden truths of love and maturity. Discover why selectiveness is not weakness, but wisdom. Dive deep into the psyche and explore the shadows that shape our desires. If this insight resonates, like the video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe now to uncover more psychological revelations about love, life, and the self.